Welcome back to Grade 8 Math. This is Section 4 in Unit 5, and in this video we'll review how to calculate sales tax. Sales tax is an amount of money paid by the consumer and calculated as a percentage of the total amount at the point of sale. Imposed by the government, taxes are added to the cost of certain products or services as a means to pay for public programs that benefit the community as a whole. Some of these programs include education, healthcare, transportation, and national defense. Listed in the table to the right are the current provincial sales tax rates across Canada, according to the retailcouncil.org. Currently, in Newfoundland and Labrador, the sales tax rate is 15% and is the rate that we will use to complete the questions that follow. Remember, taxes are calculated as a percentage of the total. To calculate the sales tax, we first need to identify the sales tax rate. We then change that percent into a decimal. We multiply the decimal by the total amount, and then we add the taxes to our total. Example 1. A clothing store in Corner Brook is selling a pair of jeans for $59.99. How much tax would you pay if you purchased the jeans? Well, we need to find 15% of $59.99. To do that, we would need to change the 15% into a decimal because we can't use percent as it is. We do that by moving the decimal 2 places to the left. We get 0.15 of means love, $59.99. We would use our calculators to do this, and we would get 8.9985. Now, when we're talking about money, we only have 2 decimal places because we can only have pennies as the minimum amount of currency. Because this number right here is an 8, that would make the number before it round up. So this 9 would round up, which would then impact the number before that and the number before that. So $8.99 would actually round up to $9. So the question asks, how much tax will we pay? We would pay $9 in tax. Example number 2. At a local Newfoundland restaurant, you purchase an entree for $19.99, a beverage for $2.50, and a dessert for $7.99. What is the total cost of your meal, including tax? We're not going to worry about the tip for this particular question, so we're just calculating tax on the total. So the easiest thing to do will be to tally up the total amount for our bill. So the total would be $19.99 plus $2.50 plus $7.99, and we could use a calculator to add these up, and we would get 57.965. So remember, when we're dealing with money, we can only have 2 decimal places, and because this number here is a 5, that will impact the number before it. So this actually rounds up to $57.97. We then need to use the Newfoundland and Labrador tax rate, so 15% of $57.97. So 15% as a decimal is 0.15. Of means love, so we would multiply there, and 57.97. When we use our calculators to do that, we get 8.6955. So again, we can only have 2 decimal places, and that 5 is going to make the number before it round up, so we get $8.70 in tax. If we read back through the question, it says, what is the total cost of your meal including tax? So they're not just asking us for the amount of tax in this question, they're asking us for the total amount of our bill including tax. So the total amount with taxes would be $57.97 plus $8.70 to get a total of $66.67. Now there is a very quick method that we could use to calculate that. And we could do that by taking our total and multiplying by 1.15 instead of just by 0.15 and then adding it on. The reason that works is because if I take the total and I multiply it by 1, I get the total. And then if I take the total and I multiply it by 0.15, I'll get the tax. So by doing it all in one step, I'll get the total and the tax together. So I can take my total, which is 57.97, and I can multiply it by 1.15, and that will give me 66.6655. So again, we can only have 2 decimal places. That 5 will make the 6 before it round up, and it will round up to $66.67. So you can see that we got the exact same number as we did in the other calculations. This is useful when we're asked for the total. Not so much if I'm just asked for the amount of tax that I'm paying, as in the previous question. So if the question broke it down and said how much tax are you paying and the total, then it would probably make more sense to do it this way. But if they're just asking for the total at the end, including your tax, then you could use this method right here. Please proceed to the next video in this lesson.